So now when we don't see how we fit add our external CSS to our HTML code, make we see how we fit take the select the things where we want for inside CSS. We dey call them selectors. If you don't understand wetin I dey talk about selectors, I go drop link for now. Make una go that link. You fit come this W3 school and then read more about CSS selectors for here. Then it is very important to make you know about your CSS selectors. CSS selectors now way we say you go fit dey find the elements for inside the web page or inside the web app or anything where they do. That na wetin they use the CSS selectors for. So make we see examples of some of them and make we see how we fit use and make our life better. So if I come inside here now and looking at our code where we get for here, so make we see how it be. Make we give one element the exact same class and attributes. Make we see how we go work with that one element. So make we use our infamous actually make we create another element, make we write another text. So make we create a button for here. So we'll say button less than, we'll say b button, then we go press shift and angle bracket or greater than, we go close them. Then we'll say click here. You see say the button day inline, so make we add them inside the div. So we'll say div, and inside here we go put our button. Now as we don't put our button for inside this div now, so we fit say this button it day on your own. But what if we get different buttons? We go see reach how we go take style them. So for now, make we add new style for this our button. So we'll go inside our styles.css code right here. We go come say we want add button. So remember, say we just select only the button. So we go say button. We go come say we want to make the button background color. Make it be make we say yellow. All right. So we go say make the background color of this button make it be yellow. Then we go press save. So it don't work. It don't turn yellow. Now this now button you go say if I click on, to show much, but it dey work, right? So make we see style this same button. Make we give them class now. So make we say class of button or btn. Make we say we want give this button in own class now of btn. So we go say make we come out this class first for now. Make it add them here. So we go say we want class of btn. Now this class of btn where we dey add, so if we come our CSS, come see say we want change this btn to from yellow to another color. Make we see whether we fit do it. So we go come here, we go say we want class btn. Remember say the dot na the CSS selector. Open up there. Then we go say we want make the background color again. Make it the background color this time, make it be blue. And we press save. And you see say it override the color. If I move and come up now and press save, you can see say it still they override the color. So if we look at our specificity rule now, we can see say this one it no hold precedence, but this one now it hold precedence pass. So it's 0, 1, 0. That means say this one get power pass even this one where they here. So if we go again, say we want add ID. So make we paste the same code and make we change them to ID. So we go just say hash btn, now that button btn. Then make we change the button color to purple. Purple. Now this purple now, as we don't change them to this color, you see say it never change. Well, that's because we never add this ID of btn to our HTML. But if you look the selector specificity, you go see say now 1, 0, 0. That means say this one nice strong pass everything. So always remember say ID now get power pass followed by class, and after that one the element itself now get the specificity of 0, 0. So make we go back, add the ID for here, space ID, press enter, and then we just say btn, press save. I go see say the ID now don't pass out. So the ID now get power pass for all the other things. So like I tell you now before, be cautious how you go to use your ID to style your element, because if you change style here, you know go know, you go to change it somewhere else, you know go know, and it go to affect your work. So always they use class as best so that you go there inside this 0, 1, 0. You go there inside in between. You feel 4 come this side, you feel change come this side if you want. Now so you go to change them for here. Make we try select other things for this our page. Make we say we want select h1. So we go write our style. We can say any h1 though, make the color be color white. Okay, because you say our h1 for here never change color to white. So why never change color to white? Well, that's because say the inline style where we get it they override even this our own style where we put for here. So make we see. If we go inside our index or HTML, remember, say I set them for here. say I want make the inline style make it be black. So now this one can get more specificity pass even the one where they this external file. Even if I want try make them other things, this inline one get precedence over them. So make we try erase them. That's why it is very important make you know where you they put your code. So make we clear them for here and press save. You go turn. Aha. So now what did they happen? Be say it's not even still white. Why be say it never turn white? That because we get class for here. So make we see which class they cause this text to the green. Make we try change them back into white. Make we see if we look now, because we know say this text is supposed to be white. We know say we don't come out the styles for inside the inline style. The inline style. So what we go do now to go into the classes. So make we see which classes we get where they affect them. If you no go past this class for here of na text. So if you come out even this na text, you could constantly say we go fix that issue. So if you press save, you go see say now white. And if you look at even self, you go see say this text center is still working. So we get class, we get the element. So anywhere where we put H1, it go be white, it go be white, it go be white, it go be white. Make we try them now. So if I say I want to duplicate this code, I press Ctrl C, and then I go to the next line, I press Ctrl V, paste them. Make we do them like 3-4 times. So make we say one make we format the code again. Press save. You just say we get the same H1. All of them now color white. If you say we want to come out all the text center, you go see say without the text center, you no go move to that side. But if you say okay, we want make it be na text, text, it go show say na text for this side. So anywhere where we add, okay, we want na text, it go change the color from the white where we set to the new color. All these things they happen because of specificity. So if you say we want make the color be na text, it go change to green. Then this one here. So always keep in mind where you dey style your code and how you dey style your code. You go need to take responsibility for all these things where you dey do. So always keep in mind where you dey style your code and where you dey put your CSS code. Or if you don't remember, also they write comments. Those comments, they're going to help you to remember, oh, okay, this now here where I do the styling. Okay, this now the beginning of this styling. Okay, this now the ending of this styling. You're going to see such things all the time also. So moving on, make we see how we can even select much more elements. So let's say we want just select, not just H1. Make we say we want select any div. And make we say this div, we want give them a background color. So you know, say for our website now, if you look at our web page, we get some different divs for here. If you look inside here, you go see div. We look here, you go see another div. And yeah, we got about 2-3 divs where they here. So if we come inside our style sheet now, go to the next line. So we want to write div for here now. So we can say this div. Inside this div, we go put our parentheses. For inside our parentheses, we can say we want to make it get background color of black. So we can click here. We'll click that black. And if we press save, because it say all our divs. So because this button the inside div, it is black. Because here the inside div, it is black, right? So that's how we feel select the div. But what if we say we want to select the divs and we want also select the text, this text for here. So if we say okay, comma, and any p or text, then we want to make their background color be white or be black. So make we try out. And you can see say if we save them, the divs for here and this div for here and the text, all of them get background color of black. You also feel add classes for here. So if you say we want to add the div and then we want to say okay, we want to add and na text. All this and all na text should have that color. But don't forget, because na class, we need to add the dot to show say this na class. You see say the color don't change. If I change them back, go see say na HTML. If I press dot, it don't change to class. If I also press hash, you go see say the color change. So that's in there very helpful. If I press save now, any element where it gets na text in background color go change to this black way you see here. So I press that and you see say any element we get na text. Even though they're here already, don't worry. Any element we get na text and any element will be div, they go get background color of this. So just like we see for here. Then another one way I also use you now to select all the elements. So if you say you want to select all the elements, so if you go here, if you talk say I want to select all the elements for my page. So if you say all, so make I even go to the very top, for example. So if you say all, to do all, you go do asterisk, then a star. So go do star. So you can say, make we say we want outline, and inside this outline, we could say we want style. So we go say 1 pixels or 1 px dotted, and then make we just make them red. this star, it means all. So we can say all the elements for our web page, make it just draw line on top of, make it put this dotted line, one red dotted line. So make it press save, make it see if it can work. And they see say all the elements now, they get this red line, this red dotted line where they see them for them. All right, so that I'm waiting this star mean, it means all of them. All you can see say the specificity, you don't even get anything for it. You never write 1 0 anything, you just collect all of them. They affect all of them like that. So make we see again how we even still select them much better. So let's say this button a very good idea, and we want to move all the buttons, or we want to move only the button to the center, for example. So if you come here, if you say div, if you say we want div, and this div, we go say if the div gets button, so we go say greater than, so we go say this not child, this not direct child, so we go say child. So if the div gets button, so we go say button, then we go say make the button, make we give padding, and then inside this padding we can say we want padding of 20 pixels, then we go press save. You go see say the button now it don't big, even though we did this div. So that's because we did inside the div we get button. We will also select the class. So what will be the class of this button? BTN. So if you say okay, any div we get button of BTN, we can put a button of BTN. So we'll say class BTN. Any div we get this class of BTN though, make the button style, make it there like this, make it be 20 pixels top bottom, and make them the wide. So we'll say 50 pixels wide, or 50 pixels on the side, both sides, left and right. So you can see say the button don't come here and it don't there like this. So if you say okay, now let's say we want to move this button now to the side. So we go say how we go take do am. Now that time we go come give this our divs where we don't they work with things, because now if we do any div we get button, it go move am, it go design am like this. Make we see am. So if I come here back into our HTML code, I can say okay, I want to make another button, and I can copy this button, and I can say okay, I want to go to the bottom of the page, for example. So I go to the bottom of the page out of everything here, for just under the last div. Then I go say I want to put button here. Now inside this button, you don't need to do like this, but inside this button, I will come put div here, and this div inside I could put another button. So make I come on this class first, this ID, make we leave the class, and then make I give this div its own class. So we go say class, we call them btn dash container. Now this btn container, make we save am. Now here, now it will be the parent element of our btn itself, or our button class itself. So make we save am, make we see wetin go show. So you see say because now div also, that's why it can't give us the same styling just like before. Even if I don't even do anything, as long as I say now button, if I add as many button as I want for here, as long as say there be button, they go behave like that. So make I say I want button just like this one. Make we write them again. So I can say btn. Let me say button too. Right. All right. So if I save all these buttons, you can see say all of them then be yellow. That's because any button when they inside this div for here, it go be that behavior where we say make it be. Which now, if we come here, or you go say any button. Now what they do say any button now, it go be yellow. But if now div where they get class of btn, now this class here, then it go give them the styles where we they put for here. So if we come say we want to make this button 4 now, make it resemble this button, this first button where we put here, where we don't even give them name, where we don't give them number, we'll come say this button 1, we'll come say okay, this button 4, give them class. So we'll come say space. We'll come add the attribute of class. So we can say class equals, we'll put quotes, double quotes, then for inside this double quotes, we'll come say btn, and you go press save. When we press save, you go see say the button don't they show for here as just like the other buttons. So these are some of the little selectors where I want just quickly breeze through. There's still a lot more you can do with all the selectors for here, but I just said we could just play around with them a bit. If you want to learn more about the CSS selectors, don't forget to check this selector page for here. This selector here page will give you better idea if you want to understand what I explain, or if you want to understand which elements you go use and how you go use them and how you go join elements together and all those type of things. So always keep that in mind. You feel always read about something way I talk and you don't understand, or I talk am too fast and you don't understand, or the grammar too big and you don't understand, you fit always come internet, you fit always read more about them, you fit always understand more about them. So that's it for this video. For the next video, we'll constantly learn more CSS attributes. We'll constantly play with more CSS things. We'll constantly see what we fit use to make this our site first clean, make it fresh, make it day normal, make it just be like normal, card or something. Make we see what we fit do for the next video. So I will see you now for the next video.